right, in 5, 4, 3,
Cheap flights.
Cornbread.
How's it going, everyone? This is Frank Cavone, the Cheap Flights and Cornbread podcast.
All right, how's it going, everyone? I'm Frank Cavone, and you are watching episode 40 of the Cheap Flights and Cornbread podcast, and we got a special guest. We got the man who didn't make it onto the Sugarhold episode, but is here today, a man with many hats, John Olander. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm glad I found the time to get up here and be with y'all.
Yes, man. I'm really excited to talk to you, learn about everything that you're doing. You do a lot of stuff in the city of Troy and around, plays in multiple bands. It's people like you who help elevate the scene. So thank you for everything that you do, man. Brett, how you been, man?
Dude, feeling great, man. I know. It's hard to believe episode 40. I mean, it feels like episode 25.
It really does. To think that we stop and started and still after having this reset with Putnam place, it's dude, it's I don't know. It's awesome.
Dude, I mean, this is what I imagine a 40th birthday would feel like.
Hell yeah, dude.
In the words of, I don't know, there was some Irish bar I went to many moons ago, when a beard was the equivalent of having an ID. And they basically said, 40 isn't old if you're a tree.
If you're a tree?
If you're a tree.
Facts.
That is true. That is very true. What about you? What about you, Fresh?
Doing great, living the dream, got the new whip, flying high, staying low.
There you go. Staying low. I like it.
How about you, Frankie? See how you been doing?
Man, if we're being real here, I've had my ups and downs these last couple of weeks, but I just gotta say, just to be alive and being able to do this with you guys is probably the best thing I ever had in my life at this point.
You need higher standards.
Looking forward to this every Friday, especially when I got a lot of shit going on in my life. It means the world. So I just want to say that.
Dude,
and
of course,
I got 4 other things to say.
All right, well, this is fun as fuck. Go on.
John Bonham, John Paul Jones, Robert Plant, Jimmy Page. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Facts.
So I was on I don't know, just trying to get through my struggle right now. I've just been kind of watching some more motivational things, and I spent 4 hours watching Zeppelin stuff, the history of Zeppelin, these blue collar dudes, along with a mastermind from a band called the Yardbirds, who was also a great sound engineer in the studio, got together and created what happens to be the best rock and roll that ever existed, in an opinion, for sure. There's many great rock and roll bands, as my fucking mic goes down my chest, but I don't know. I just shit like that is what breathes life back into what I'm doing. I don't know. I just Led fucking Zeppelin.
No,
That's all I got to
there's
say.
some
man.
Led Zeppelin that puts a fire back into your body, puts
Exactly.
it back into the soul. It really hits.
It does. But we got a lot to talk about today. First off, thank you everybody who made the Listen Up Awards. Congratulations to all the winners, and thank you to the Cohoes Music Hall for letting us being able to do it. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool to see people having a good time and not taking it seriously at all. It shouldn't be about that. And just if you actually want to go support local music, go fucking buy a ticket, go buy some merch, go share a Facebook band post, whatever you got to do. That shit matters more than anything. And there's so much live music going on all the time. I mean, on a Monday night here, you got Family Tree, you got Super Dark at Desperate Annie's. On Thursdays, you got Super Dark down there. And I feel like this is a good transition, just with supporting live music and making people know, hey, there's this shit going on, and you should get out of your house. Tell us a little bit about Super Dark, man, and how you've been involved with that, and what is the motive and everything about that? Because while you do play in the Sugarhold, you guys love cheeseburgers and love to party, you do get down to work, and that Super Dark Collective shit is awesome to me, because like a jam scene, we have a place, but like Super Dark became the home for a lot of bands to be able to do what they do. So what's so special about it?
Well, I mean, it's just some guys that really love music, like weird music, want to give people a platform. Consistent shows are always something that have kind of been a struggle to achieve in this area. So to have, 2 shows a week in a weekly series, every single one you come to is something that's completely different. It's just a good time. Shane and Chris are just the biggest sweethearts. They're great to work with. And I actually met Shane when I was going to school at One Caroline. I got
really?
hired there as a waiter. And they had this show series going on, and I was like, what the heck is this? And it's like this Euro power kind of into some passive speaker, feedback heavy sound situation going on. And I was like, I can help with this.
Yeah.
And it's been years now.
That's awesome.
It is what it is. So
Did this exist while at that point in time, or was he just launching this, Shane?
so it'd been going on, I think, for about 8 or 9 months.
Wow. Okay.
My band at the time, Che Guevara, was trying to get on one of the Super Dark shows, and it just kept getting rescheduled and rescheduled. And then we met up, and he's like, "Oh, you're in Che Guevara t-shirt? Like, that's wild. Like, I've been trying to book you." So it's been awesome working with Shane. Like, we go together like peas and carrots. It's good shit.
That's awesome, man. And so at this point, you're probably super involved with music, and you guys make it your life. Each one of you guys in the Sugarhold. But for you, what was it that was the launching pad? Like, I love music. But I want to pursue something more than just listening and being a fan.
I mean, I've gotten this question before, and that's a tough one. I was born into a music industry family. My father was a sound engineer. My first show was like a couple weeks old. Going to Jazz Fest in New Orleans, going to various festivals around the country, sometimes going to clubs when you couldn't find a babysitter at 5, 6 years old, like some pretty wild stuff. So I've never known that you could do anything else. And then you do school, getting into high school bands and stuff like that. Finding people that you play with that have the same passion is really important. So it's really just I was in it, I developed a community, and it's just always been what I've done.
That's awesome, man. And were drums like the first instrument you picked up and you stuck with it? Do you play anything else? Like, what was the launch? Like, what when you're joining your first band, what are you playing? What's your genre? Your
So my first instrument was a rubber balloon.
Nice.
One of these things where I'm backstage at the gig trying to get out of everybody's way. I discovered that if your hand was wet and you rub your fingers on a balloon, it makes like a squeak. And so I'm doing this all day long, and I'm pissing off everybody. And there's this jazz trio, I can't think of their name right now, but this was the gazebo stage at the Saratoga Jazz Fest.
Okay.
He's like, I want you to come on stage for one of the songs, and I want you to squeak that balloon until you can't squeak it no more. And so I get up there. First time I'm playing on stage, don't really know how to play anything. I'm a little kid. And I'm squeaking this balloon, and we're trading fours, and I'm squeaking harder because he's playing the piano harder. And all of a sudden the balloon pops, and they jump into the head. And I'm just standing there with some wet gloves on and broken balloon. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So I kind of just soak off the stage. Next time that I played an instrument, it was another festival in Philadelphia, the Jambalaya Jam. And again, I'm just kind of kicking around backstage. They did an A stage and a B stage, and they set up a drum set. So I got behind the drum set and I took a drum solo and didn't suck. I drew a crowd to the stage that didn't have anything going on. So after that, my dad got me a timbale and a snare, and I fuck around in my bedroom, not really knowing anything. Soon after that, I got my first acoustic guitar, and then I kind of bounced back and forth.
Okay.
High school and shit, played guitar a lot. Got back into drums. Now I do keys and synths and weird drum machines and production tricks. I do harsh noise and like textural soundscapes.
Oh, cool.
So all over the place.
That's awesome. So now, are you growing up in a music family? Now, are you like self-teaching yourself, like this, the keys, the guitar, and how easy was it for you to switch from like a guitar to a keyboard and with basically translating the same notes just in a different way?
Well, so yeah, self-taught for the most part.
Okay.
There's points, where you don't want to play your instruments anymore.
Uh-huh.
And so I've always just picked up another instrument. There was a point in my mid-20s where I didn't want to play guitar, I didn't want to play drums, I thought I sucked at both of them. And so I started taking some piano lessons, and I have like wicked ADHD. So there's times where I'm getting back into guitar and drums where I'd like play the guitar for a bit, and then I'd like try to figure out what I was doing on the piano, and then I'd get bored with that, and I'd hop behind the drum kit and like just go in a circle for hours. But yeah, it's not really hard because I don't try to play music. You always learn covers and shit like that, but that's not my typical thing. It's just like, what kind of cool sounds can I make? And can I repeat those cool sounds once I figure out how to make them?
Right.
And, it's all experimentation.
That's awesome, man. And so, you're experimenting. You just played that rockin' drum solo. You're touring. You're going to different festivals. Now, like,
Touring.
what eventually, touring around, like I gotta ask, what were your family members doing? Were they like crew members? Did they play music themselves? Like being born into a family like this? Or?
Yeah. So, like I said, my dad was a sound engineer. He'd also function as like a stage manager.
Okay. So crew.
So crew. Yeah.
And are you picking up on things that like how people work, how people go about something a certain way? Like, do you think those being brought into a world like that has helped you now, like later into your career, where you have real world responsibilities and are involved in helping promote shows with Super Dark, playing in a band, The Sugar Hole, which is crushing it right now, by the way?
Yeah. So the music industry, right? There's a certain level of professionalism that is required to make shows run, but it's not the same kind of professionalism that you'd see in a boardroom or a corporate office. It's like alternative professionalism.
Yeah.
Learned really young, like, oh yeah, some of the other engineers, they're gonna go behind the stage and smoke pot. They're fine. They're still gonna be able to get their job done. Weed isn't that bad. Don't smoke weed. It's that kind of thing. But really, how to carry yourself, understanding like timelines. It helps more on the shows that I think are higher pressure. We get like some pretty big acts into no fun, and the show needs to run right. For the local stuff, it's a little bit more relaxed, but it's the same kind of, got to kind of have a handle on things. We have to end at a certain time. The show must go on.
Of course.
So.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be structure and organization, but within the chaos of it all, Yeah, of course, I'm gonna go slam a beer quick before the set starts, or whatever it is. But yeah, there's a certain level of accountability that a crew member has, because you're all going through the same shit, and you all got to be there at the same time and leave. And at a grueling time, crew members have it the hardest, and if we didn't have them, they have a thankless job. Live sound, high peaks, aces, you name them. Like how many great professional sound companies are there that, basically it's ride or die on them. So that's why it's like anytime like I'm trying to work with like an event, and I know what I'm good at, but if you have that certain skill set and knowledge, like this is your thing. And that's the other cool thing about working in a situation like that, is that people trust you to get your job done, or else you wouldn't be there. You'd probably be, sitting at home or maybe have a lower level job like a PA or something. But yeah, I mean the stress, all of that. But that's cool that like to be able to be exposed to that and like maybe not have that same level of stress that somebody else might just getting out of school who didn't have that real world experience. I will say for us, we put ourselves in a lot of shitty positions.
That we did.
But it was those things that made the next day just a little bit easier because if we could go through that, sky's the limit, man.
Trial by fire.
Exactly. So, aside from that, Sugarhold is popping off right now. You guys have been playing well over a year now, and it blows my mind because it's very uniform. Like you guys have a presentation with the way you present your music. It's fun. There's nothing serious about it, and I feel like a jackass. The first time I ever was talking to Mikey and the rest of the other guys, we were sitting in my house at the time in Lark Street, and I compared you guys to Black Sabbath. And I felt like a retard, and I felt like the biggest retard. So I was like, because the only experience I had was like seeing you guys play at I think it was Art on Lark one year. It was like in the summer.
That set was a little unhinged.
Yeah.
I was also doing sound for that. I was dehydrated, over-caffeinated. I think that was like a 14-hour day for me because I started there 9 a.m. and then after Art on Lark, we had a set in Schenectady. I was exhausted.
Now that was honestly like there was a lot of people out there watching you guys, and at that point, like, what did it might have already happened, but was there a gig where it clicked where it was like, okay, we've done this a couple times, we do have original tracks, but now there's something there? Like, was there a gig that was like...
We had the something there moment really early on.
Nice.
Like, before we even had played a show. Like, we had some rehearsals, and it was actually with our first bass player, Judson. We finished a practice. We all kind of just looked at each other like, all right, this is cool. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but...
Okay. Now, you have that epiphany. There's got to be people around you that are like believing in you, supporting you, and you got your Jive Hive people, you got your Super Dark people. But were there anybody specifically that were like, all right, guys, you got this. Let's anything I can do to make this happen. Let's make it happen.
I mean, not in words, but we get a lot of support from our friends in the community. The Troy Foundry Theater really gave us a lot of support. The Hold On Honeys are all a part of that. They're amazing people and very positive. Shane from Super Dark, like I still kind of think of like the Sugarhold as like, man, I am in this kind of band right now. I've always played like this strange, off the cuff, alternative music, and he's like, no, this is great. Keep doing this. So
that's awesome.
Just the support from the community, but like nothing explicit. Like, you guys have it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I gotta say, I mean, you guys definitely have it, and it's really cool to see you guys kind of not. I wouldn't say necessarily team up with other bands, but like there's like from the outside looking in, there's a collective at Jive Hive. You bring up the Hold On Honeys, Sugarhold. You can E-Block has stopped there many a times, giving a place to play. And in the same exact form, maybe even on a lower level, like I don't know much about the underground party band scene, but like places like the Laundromat that are just like getting kids in the door, not dancing to club music, but fucking rock and roll punk or heavy metal, whatever it may be. Like that is so sick, and I really think that this generation of music is 100% the future of our capital region. You see bands come, you see bands go, but there's just something in the water, and I don't know if there's just like a paradigm shift after COVID, but the younger guys are stepping up, and it's fucking really cool to see. And I think from a media guy's perspective, it's on us to help elevate them and give them a platform. And so like to all the other publications out there, pay attention to what's going on, because in the next couple of years, there's going to be definitely a couple bands that are going to break it huge. Like one of my favorite bands I saw here actually that is like part of that whole like a laundromat collective of people. Otobo, like I was like, where the fuck have you guys existed all my life? Like,
Yeah.
like blues rock mixed with like some elements of punk and ska, really cool shit. Stuff that's not the same from what has been that has come from this area. You know, we have a very diverse group of musicians, bands here, but it seems like now more than ever everybody's working together somewhat, just a little more, and we need that, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, Sugarhold, you guys, by the time people are seeing this, you guys will have played the Lark Hall show, but just for those who even want to know more about how they can benefit Youth Effects, what is Youth Effects, what is, how can people support it without going to a concert?
I'm definitely the wrong person to ask this.
Well, hey, we can clip it.
But that's okay. So Youth Effects, I would imagine if you Google them and find out what they do. I run a pretty insane schedule, so Mike always knows more about what's going on with that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's an organization, gives opportunities to kids to do stuff. I think it's like film. I don't know. But yeah, we're playing a show tonight. It's us and the Nolanauts, another Jive Hive. They are the Jive Hive.
Yes.
Tom's the man. And then DJ Truemaster, who's always just been such a force in the scene. Incredible DJ. But yeah, I mean, let's give chances to children. Let's give them something to do. You need to have an outlet. You need people to guide you, and maybe I'm guessing that it's film, but maybe like the next great director comes out of this.
Yeah.
So look them up. It's gonna be it's beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. We got that right in our own backyard too. Like, I mean, another one musically, I think that, or lyricism, I think it is.
Lyricism, yeah.
Another
That's
really
like
cool,
that's like hip hop and stuff. I've seen some stuff for them. I think they're kind of based out of the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes, you could you could drive right past the downtown Price Chopper in Albany, and you always see their bus out there. And that bus is decked out with just some of the coolest technology, audio production. It's literally an audio suite on wheels, and they literally open it up to kids to get their hands on it. And man, I would have loved to have something like that as a kid myself, and to have that now is really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just really cool. Like I said, really cool to see like I said, bands, people getting together for the right reasons, not driven by money. Because at the end of the day, there's not a lot of money in this, but there's a lot of passion in it, and it's breaking your fucking back until you become numb in the mind, and then you'll hit a point where you're like, it was all worth it. Every little second of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, as far as other Capital Region acts on the come up, you experience a lot of musicians coming through Super Dark Collective. Like, what are some of your favorite acts that people should be looking out for?
Everybody should check out Bruiser and Bicycle. Everybody should check out Lemon of Choice.
Okay.
Joe Cherone, incredible drummer. Like, younger than me, makes me like practice my rudiments to a click. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't actually make me do that, but I have to.
Yeah.
Because like, goddamn, so good. But they're all great. Super talented. Bruiser and Bicycle's got this indie rock, like modern sound, like kind of spacey, like makes you feel good, makes you feel strange, like good stuff. And then Lemon of Choice is just like slap you in the face with hilarious straightforwardness.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
the music's tight, the songs are fun. You really can't go wrong with either of those bands. Who else? I'll think of more.
All right.
I'll randomly interject with, this band.
Sounds good.
Now, you hold, being one of you guys being the host of Wild in the Trees as well, like, what did you like most about, just some of the Sugarhold's material? You've already, at this point, have listened to them.
I was not there for the Sugar Hold.
Oh, you weren't. That's
Remember,
right.
I was getting.
You were a best man.
I was getting like irreversible. I was like giving myself irreversible liver damage. Like I was performing sacrilege through a best man speech, which so to those of you who've heard me say this to close out many podcasts, I'm actually starting the Classless Bastards podcast. This will be coming out on a Wednesday. Classless Bastards episode 1 will be coming out on a Friday. And so you will get to see my best friend Nick. This is the wedding we're talking about that I missed the second half of our first run music festival for. And I just got blackout drunk. I gave a best man speech so poor that that Nick's now in-laws left crying. Like,
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was rough, dude. So I'll tell you the only line of it I remember, because after that, it's probably bad. Is that
I think I remember you telling
is
me.
that Heather and I have one thing in common, is that whether we like it or not, we've both seen Nick's penis. And I said it like that. Because I thought, I don't want to say dick. I don't want to say cock. Like that's inappropriate. Penis is at the very least a term of biology.
scientific.
It's a science
That's what
word.
doctors use.
And I was outside smoking a cigarette, and someone was like, that was real nice. I'm like, yeah, that's a science term. Fucking Bible thumpers, dude. But either way, so I didn't get the opportunity to see the Sugar Hold, even though I really wanted to. And unfortunately, I listened to about 30 seconds of y'all's material, but it made me want to slug a beer and just throw it into traffic.
I just personally
That's probably the worst way of describing it, but it was. I enjoyed what I listened to, and I will make it a point to listen to it on my drive home.
I will say, I think what I like about you guys the most is that you don't take it serious, and you're not like, I don't know, you see bands who literally treat it like they're fucking Led Zeppelin, and it's like, dude, that's not the way to think. And you guys are just like, I'm gonna write a fucking song about a cheeseburger and crush it and make it fun and make people dance, and it's more than rock and roll, it's got that 60s swing, almost in the elements of the material. And so just I don't know, just it's different. And you guys are, honestly, you guys put social media marketing people to shame, because you guys have some of the fucking best, like Mikey the other day sent me the graphic of the Facebook mom voting for an award. I like that you guys don't give a fuck and just do it, and he sent it to me. At first I was like, if I take this seriously, then I'm a fucking joke as well. So I was like, dude, put it out, dude. That's awesome.
Yep.
And then even just like I said, you guys have, I don't know how you guys go about it, but you have some of the best graphic design around. Where do you have the time to do that? Because I don't even know how we have time to do all this shit. So
it's a division of labor. So I mean, and when Mike and I first, got reacquainted, we were friends in college and, drifted apart, but starting to work with the Sugar Hold,
yeah.
He kind of had a sane schedule. I've always had an insane schedule. I do it to myself. But that dude is putting me to shame sometimes too. I mean, with doing Jive Hive and all of our marketing, and now he's working with Nippertown, doing some of their social media stuff. So how?
Yeah.
And Jive Hive sometimes does 2 shows a week, and then
he's producing
it's a
them
lot.
too. He's behind the board switching cameras.
Yeah,
right?
he's doing the cameras.
Yeah.
He's doing the graphics. It's not an easy thing to accomplish. So we all work our little behinds off. Matt is an incredible networker, and you walk into the city of Troy, you mention Matt Malone, everybody knows who he is.
He's a mayor.
He's essentially the mayor.
Yes, a much
Troy
better
would
version.
be much better if he was actually the mayor.
Absolutely. At least Matt has some hair, you know. But no, it's just really cool. I'm like I was wondering, like is it like you guys are just like shoot random thoughts off each other, or you just do it, or like you're stoned, you got a
Our
message
band
group, or
text thread is completely unhinged.
oh my god.
It's probably the first one that I've ever had, though, that isn't filled with highly cancelable. That's not a word. Is that a word?
You make it a word.
Today it is.
It's a word.
Yeah.
It's a word today. It might be a word every day. But, we're just. I'll backtrack a bit. You say that we don't take it serious, and I'll say we do take it serious. But the thing that we take serious is having a blast and
awesome.
being really fun with it. When there's moments where, because there's always the rub in a band, it's like a relationship. When those moments come up, we deal with it right then. We get right back to having fun.
That's awesome,
So
dude.
the communication's super strong with us. I think that's another reason that like our energy kind of just comes off of us when we play, because we're all having a great time. I played a couple shows where I was maybe sick.
Yeah.
But you slog through those, but you have a good time.
Hell yeah, man. Well, cool, dude. And, cheers to everything, because the level of what you guys do, like I said, that for a lot of other people could lead to like burnout or, resentment to the love of it all. But because you guys are able to just crush a situation right then and there and move past it, I think that says a lot about all of you.
Yep.
It's not easy to do that. And it seems like it's all the right personalities,
Yeah.
which is so sick. But I do want to just take a couple seconds just to plug some things. First off, head to our YouTube channel, Mirth Films. That's where we're prioritizing all of our content moving forward. So we're going to have a lot of fun and exciting stuff coming out, just like the Family Tree Band mini doc that we have dropping in the next couple of weeks. We are, while we love doing these live music shows, recording everything we possibly can, it's going to be fun to do something a little more creative and tell a story, and there's a lot of great stories to tell around here. Blue Sky, you're up next. But yeah, just stay tuned. We're with YouTube now implementing their whole new podcast feature. You're going to see a lot more streamlined podcasts through the doors at Mirth Films, like Classless Bastards, once every other week, and every other week with the Kind of Live, Kind of Living podcast, and of course every single week at the Cheap Flights and Cornbread podcast. And then I also want to plug just the Putnam place for letting us do this each and every single week as well. This is something that these guys open their doors to a lot of people. You wouldn't think all the other stuff that happens here, but there's a lot of shit that happens here. There's music lessons that happen here on the weekends. I just found out about that. I didn't know that
that's
happened.
awesome.
So they rent out space for people to teach here. They let our dumbasses through the doors, and even the country kickers. I mean, if you are into that step, man, that country two-step. Come and see Kevin Richards, one of the greatest broadcasters here that we've ever had, along with many others. And he does this because he likes doing it every Wednesday. And then obviously Mondays we got Family Tree with Sly Open Mic, which I hope to do that. I say that every week, but one day. And then also just want to plug just you guys, man. Fucking Doug, you have a video that has not yet dropped. I apologize.
All good.
But Doug's been crushing it behind the scenes, working on some creative content and organizing the scheduling for Sylvia, our next full-length movie, which is a skateboarding movie. We'll be hanging out with some kids all throughout New York State, filming, getting clips, and just having a good time and bringing it back to the roots of where Mirth Films really all started prior to us finding jam bands and acid and all that. But other than that, just I have to give a shout out to the 9 Club. I don't know if you saw, 9 Club is the biggest skateboarding podcast in the world, and
Are they ending?
they just ended the 9 Club experience.
Yeah, I saw that.
Really sucks,
So is that
man.
just experience? So they'll keep doing the actual 9 Club with the guests, just not like the
Exactly.
copy.
I think they probably hit their own level of burnout. I mean, they've been doing podcast, 2 podcasts every single week since like 2016.
That is a lot
Yeah,
of podcasts.
isn't that crazy? Yeah, so it's 52 a year time. Yeah, I mean, holy shit. Yeah, that's really all I got to plug. But other than that, do you want to talk about what we've been consuming, or is there anything else we should?
I would like to plug a couple things quick before I forget.
Of course.
For one, obviously Bicycle Day is coming up 4/19, and it's gonna create for quite the dope show here at Putnam Place.
Yes, it is.
That's gonna be a great one. You want to tell these people who's playing, because I blanked on it.
You blanked on it. You
Just
said
as I
half the
said.
name.
Dopapod's one of them, right?
Yeah, that's
Dopapod,
it.
yeah, Dopapod, yeah, yep.
They're great. Eli's the man.
You okay?
Rock.
You're a Dopapod fan.
Oh, I mean, so when they were on their come up, they would play Oneonta all the time, and
No shit.
that was when I would play a circuit that included Oneonta. So I got to see those guys a lot, like mid 2000s. They're amazing people.
They really are, and they're one of the people who the bands that were able to take a step back, go on a hiatus, and then just refuel, and now they have a stronger.
They got throwback.
They got throwback, and even like when he wasn't there, Scotty Zwang, a killer drummer,
Yep.
also is in Ghostlight and played with Rack for a few years. Just a fucking incredible drummer, but there really was nothing like Fro. So when you were out there, question, Oneonta, did you ever see a show with them with Consider the Swords?
Yeah.
I listened to that show. It's like 2013. They do something where they like combine on stage and like they played a couple songs together. Those guys, I don't know. I mean,
those two played together out there quite a bit. So I'm
they
not
did?
sure if I
Okay.
was at that particular one, but was that Live Live?
I don't
Was
know.
it like freezing cold outside in a tent?
It was an indoor show.
It was an
It
indoor
in a
show at the
club.
Black Oak?
I don't know if it was at the Black Oak or it was a theater of some sorts.
Yes.
Okay.
So I wasn't at that show.
Okay.
But yeah, both amazing bands.
So, okay, yeah, dude, I don't know. I just, like, Dopapod is like a musician's band to me. Like, you
Yeah.
listen to them, you listen to Drawn Onward or whatever album it is. It's just, like, some of the best synth creation. Eli Winderman and also played in Octave Cat. And shout out to the Lotus family who are hurting right now. But, yeah, fucking, I don't know. I love those guys so much. They were one of those bands for me where, like, at the time, I fucking hated jam bands. And, like, them, Mo, kind of Fish, they kind of converted me. It was like, okay, there is some
Yeah.
heaviness within, because at that time,
I'm still not fully converted, but
I don't blame you,
I
man.
like some.
We're trying to deconvert right now. Like, I grew up on thrash metal. I grew up on Stevie Ray Vaughan. I grew up on
Yep.
on fucking Zeppelin, and so it was kind of like how it was like, this is not my thing. And then I was like, oh,
This is kind of my
this is
thing.
kind of my thing after a
Jeez.
couple tickets to El Salvador.
But
So
yeah, but dude, yeah. So either way, Bicycle Day,
Yeah.
Dopapod, be here. Also, April 15th, if you're down for it, if you're in the Glens Falls area, the Charles Arwood Theater.
yes,
Shoe 30th anniversary, 30 years of playing a hell of a history between 5 dudes who just wanted to jam out and play music. And I'm really looking forward to, they for some reason agreed to let me just ask them like every question I could think of. But there's so much I want to learn about them. Because I just learned about Shoe through bartending with Brian Mull,
okay,
who just is, by the way, one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. Like, I would trust him to juggle my firstborn child, my dog, and like my entire life savings all at once while operating a unicycle, while playing half of a set. And he
Wow,
wouldn't
okay.
drop anything or stay out of time. He's just just an authentic good dude.
So what about Shoe?
So
For 30
Shoe,
years.
30 fucking years of Shoe, man. A lot of history going on. A lot of it that I don't know of because I'm so new to Shoe.
Yeah.
Only hearing about them from the old Googs days, and even well before that, when they were going on tour with Ominous Sea Pods, and I think even Mo once upon a time.
Okay.
Baby Mo, like
Baby Mo.
baby hype Mo, baby not touring the world and doing super cool stuff yet.
Valentine's Mo.
Valentine's Mo.
Which, I mean, there was a lot of pivotal music that came out of that area around that time. And I mean, yeah, 30-year legacy shoe. Definitely go check them out. April 15th. Great.
Dude, bring your dancing shoes.
Yeah, bring
it's
your
gonna be a
dancing
party.
shoes.
While we're plugging dates in April, I'd be remiss not to mention the Sugar Hold at No Fun with Acid Dad.
Okay.
Acid Dad.
And
Love
the
that.
Abysmals on 420. It's
Oh, sweet.
our album release, our album Suite's coming out that day. So that's going to be a pretty big one. Some tickets still available. Hopefully still available Wednesday. You should probably get them. But yeah.
Oh yeah. So April 20th, Abysmals.
April 20th, Abysmals and Acid Dad.
And
And
Acid
us.
Dad. Go and see that. No Fun. April 20th, Sugar Hold album release show, and go have a couple nice craft beers. It is to me the
THC drinks.
Oh really?
What?
Yeah.
I did hear about that.
No fucking way. Well, hey, go for the THC drinks if you are California sober. And big shout out to August. Let's just take the time. No Fun to me is the only, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm very new to Troy. Other than the Savings Bank, it's the real venue. You know, it's the premier venue, like for local and touring music. Like,
I mean,
what
yeah,
else
we're getting
exists,
some
man?
killer acts. We
like
got
you got
Dan
the Hanger
Deacon
but,
coming
like,
up doing 2 days in June. I forget the date, but yeah, I mean, for the style of venue it is, which is like we built everything ourselves. It is. We're doing it. Great staff. You know, Shane does the booking there. August does some booking. Ben Saratan, who's also an incredible musician. One of our bartenders, one of my sound engineers.
Nice.
It's just, Tex, Rural County Bad Boys, Flavor.
Of course.
Like, killer bass player, incredible human being. So, like, the vibe there, I think, is really what's giving us our success. And all of us together kind of doing our own thing, bringing it together. That's another, a great thing. Like, we have Bronze Nazareth next Thursday. Killer lyricist. Can't really say anything more than that, but then Dan Deacon, like the mix of different things that we get to come together there. I mean, Acid Dad, it's going to be their 3rd time back,
Nice.
maybe 2nd time. I don't know. It's all a blur. But we're just getting these killer acts, and it's fun. Like,
It is.
It's
even though
no
there
fun,
is-
but there's a big circle and then a slash, so it's like not allowed. No fun's not allowed at no fun. So.
Exactly. That's cool, man. And again, just big shout out. I just, after kind of being exposed to everything else other than the jam scene, I was like, it's just really kind of fucked up sometimes that like one genre will receive so much love and then outshine everything else when there's like, first time I ever seen Sydney Worthley, I was like, where the fuck have I been? Like this girl can rock, you got Leo on guitar, like, and there's many of them, Girl Blue, there, you can go down that avenue. And same with hip hop too. I mean, a big shout out to DJ Hollywood, who also does something very similar to Mirth Films, but very, I guess, curated towards hip hop. He puts a lot of time and effort into what he does to help expose the genre that he loves. And so, yes, less jam bands, no more. That's what I'm gonna start, Venny. No jam bands, just
No jam.
But I'll actually mean it. No jam bands. So.
Break
No
the jam.
20-minute improv. Fuck that. Just kidding.
Dude, someone described jam bands to me the other day as 4 middle-aged dads who don't know when to end a song.
That's pretty much it. I mean, you can go and see that 8 times in a row. This MSG this year.
Oh my God! No, he didn't.
Most jam bands get formed by 4 guys that don't know when to leave the bar. So
Exactly. Exactly. Another song at the jukebox.
So speaking of, you guys want to start a band?
We actually got one started. It might come out of our hiatus. as electronic music becomes bigger and bigger, our job is to crush it, break the step.
I mean, it sounds like you're about to start Break the Jam, too.
Break the Jam.
As a side project.
That is our side project to make sure that when we are touring, we're not hurting our image and our billing, so we got to keep the financials straight. Break the Jam. I just wanted to also say, do you mind giving a shout out or plugging your photographer who took the shots on the backdrop, because those came out amazing.
Brian Barker.
Yeah, so let's talk about him quick.
He's a phenomenal photographer, another Troy social king, just incredible, sweet, endearing human being, also a barber, hair by Brian. So,
okay,
good stuff. He's really, check him out.
No, yeah, seriously, great work. Follow him on Instagram. We will, if you can, send us his Instagram handle, because we'd love to plug him. I personally was like blown away.
Absolutely.
I was like, holy shit. And so, yeah, man, we got a lot of creative people here, and it's upon each other to take care of each other and fucking just, squash the bullshit. That's over, man. I nothing makes me more frustrated than seeing people not get along for the dumbest reasons, and because we're all in this for the same reason. We fucking love music, so let's treat it that way.
Yep.
But other than that, let's hop into what we've been watching, listening, playing. This is just our way of to share with people what we listen to and consume. Maybe we can turn some people on here. For me, watching, like I said, Led Zeppelin. That's it. That's all I've been watching. In every form that I can digest. Jimmy motherfucking Page. Listening Aerosmith, to me, I have strong opinions, but like Aerosmith to me, greatest rock band to ever come out of the United States. You listen to Toys in the Attic front to back, Get Your Wings. I mean, even just the first album, just some of the guitar playing from Joe Perry, and even the unsung heroes like Brad Whitford, man, like just creating some amazing music. I look at them as our Zeppelin from our era, and I was kind of thinking about this, like who's a Zeppelin of like each country, but like you got Rush, a three-piece that can just explode musically in every form and get progressive, but still get rooted to rock and roll. And then the female Zeppelin, Heart. I mean, Ann Wilson, some of the greatest pipes in the world. I mean, just some of the shit that they were playing, some of the guitar playing on that is just more manly than any fucking rock and roll band like REO Speedwagon or Foreigner or anything like that.
They're great too.
They're great.
Foghat.
I mean, sometimes you gotta write
you like Zeppelin so much, you love American music. They just sold our music back to us.
Exactly. and they have no problem saying that. And it's just funny to see like how England looks at that band versus how we look at that band, because a lot of people don't like them over there, or they're kind of underground like a fish.
Yeah.
You would never think that, but it was really until they came over here where they exploded. And to think that they only did that in 12 years is just like, holy shit. I mean, how do you write so much like that? And for them to just hang it up, I mean, what better way to respect one of the greatest rock and roll drummers of all time? I mean, come on. And to see Jason play too, like Jason Bonham, Led Zeppelin Experience. I've never seen him, but I'm sure it's probably incredible. I mean, I don't know. So also listening Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, Physical Graffiti, Presence, so many great albums. Coda, I mean, the stuff that they released after the fact, that's kind of what I've been consuming lately. I haven't played any video games since I moved back to Colony, but hopefully that'll change. Maybe we'll get one more snowstorm. I got to beat Tony Hawk 4, so what about you?
I've been watching lots of Stranger Things, getting caught up on that. Drive to Survive, obviously. Been listening to like the Art Bell podcast, some hip hop like Mac Miller. So a little bit Green Day, switching it up, switching up the vibes.
I'm gonna stop you there. Actually, one of the albums that I listened to front to back this week, 21st Century Breakdown, Green Day. The song 21st Century Breakdown, See the Light, East Jesus, Nowhere. That to me is like one of the most underrated albums that they've ever written, and maybe next to a Nimrod. Like it's different era, but like hearing just some more rock elements into that like punk music. I'm not going to fully quote it as punk music like American Idiot on, but like, yeah, there's some great shit in there. Definitely go check that out.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's basically it. I haven't really been playing anything, just been editing that video about Mammoth, California, so stay tuned to the YouTube channel, and you'll see that soon.
Yes, you will.
Other than that, what you been consuming, Brett?
Well, music-wise, I've been getting back into one of my favorite local Johnny Cash-esque groups called Austin and the In-Laws. It's a two-piece group just consisting of Matt Hall and Austin Petrashun, who I always pronounce his name wrong. We'll figure that out after, but just gives me a very like upstate New York heartlandy vibe. I don't know. It's a great album. They only have one album. It's Songs from the Woodshed. It's like 4 or 5 songs.
Oh, nice.
Listen to that on the way here. Obviously, listening to some Joe Mansman. Joe was nice enough to let me steal one of his most banger songs and make an intro out of it. Other than that, been watching this past weekend Theo Von's podcast.
Oh, cool.
Theo Von inspires me more and more by the day, which I don't know if that's good or not. But I have learned, if anything, Theo Von's brain needs to be examined when he dies, because like, dude, like you guys have you guys like heard his stand up or see him like in any?
I think I've seen him on Rogan a couple times. Yeah.
Dude, he is not. He doesn't breathe plain air. But what does he do? Because he's sober now. He doesn't do drugs. Like, how the fuck can someone's brain be wired like that? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, been listening to a lot of him because he could turn anything into something completely fucking hysterical. God, been playing my fucking normal Shattered Pixel dungeon crawler. They just added a new subclass which I'm trying to like master. I finally beat the game for the first time. So just like Tony Hawk, there's only 5 characters luckily, but I want to beat the game with every character.
Every character. There you go.
So just 4 left.
Nice.
But what about you, man?
Oh man, I have been listening to mixed revisions of our album, and some of my favorite palate cleansers. So like albums that I've listened to for years: "Smell the Goodness" by Tift, "Grim Reality" by Dim Light. Some local stuff I've been checking out: the new Haley Moley album, killer.
Oh, nice.
The new Lemon of Choice album, so much fun. But really, it's been a lot of. Can you hear the difference in the cymbals?
Gotta appreciate good cymbal work.
So, funny story. We played your festival, and the sound engineer actually reached out to me to help get his band booked on a Super Dark show. And he's like, and by the way, like, if you guys are ever recording, like, I'd love to produce you guys. And we had already kind of planned on, like, turning Mike's parents' house into a recording studio and doing it DIY style. So Dave Rockhour, killer dude, thedukewestern.com, he just came in and made the whole thing easy.
That's fucking
which is awesome. I
dude.
was too busy to do this.
And you met him at our festival, or you knew him
I've
before
known him
this?
for years, but
okay.
he saw the band and we started a conversation, and Dave he's always just been a killer engineer.
Yeah,
he's been
he does
around
good work,
forever.
Yeah.
As long as I've been doing music, I've been seeing his face here and there. So
No shit, man. Well, that's really cool to hear. Big shout out, then. Hell yeah, man.
Great guy.
Hell yeah. Well, other than that, this has been episode 40 of the Cheap Flights and Cornbread podcast.
Here's the 40 more, man.
Here's the 40 more.
Shit.
That's right. And again, you can listen to this iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. You can watch it on YouTube. Our premiere happens every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Other than when your power goes out, like this past weekend. So, with that being said, again, treat others. I don't mean to be some fucking motivational person right now, but treat others the way you want to be treated. And if you're going through something, talk to somebody, because honestly, it's not easy, but I swear to God, it will get you through everything, because without people, you have nothing. So thank you guys for coming on the show. Thank you so much for stopping by, man. The Sugar Hole, go listen to them on Spotify. Stay tuned for their album release. Make sure to get your tickets while you still can. And also, I got to give another shout out. April 15th, If you are not able to make it to Shoe, there is going to be another album release party, Levada. They're going to be playing with Candy Ambulance at Empire Underground. The gig just got moved over there. And those two people are doing some fucking awesome stuff. They're currently out on tour right now, and they're just young bucks trying to make their way in life. So
Another band that Joe Cherone plays drums for.
no shit. Okay.
Their bass player is also the guitarist in Lemon of Choice.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah,
Look
they're-
at that.
That whole crew, like that circle collective of folks, like untouchable. They're just doing so much.
Hell yeah. And Brett, what do you got to do?
I like it better when you close it out. Sorry. Hold on. Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
Smoke them if you got them, guys.